might even be a little bit shorter because, unbeknownst to me, Eleanor's presentation covered a lot of what I was going to talk about. But I just felt like this is more of a talk than a speech. I was not scheduled to speak, but I decided that this would be a good time to share my thoughts about Pathways. For those of you who are new and online, have not heard about this, it's the program that has been implemented since about 2019, and it's different from what we had before. And actually, I went through my books at home yesterday, and I found one of our old manuals that we used to use before. Some of you are very familiar with this. Ken and I, and Ron, and those who have been here a longer time, we probably went through all of the books. And this is what we used to do before. But my main concern is what Eleanor shared. We really need to be ready to get out of our comfort zone. And I think that that was the reason that, like Jim was saying, what was the reason for joining Toastmasters? And actually I came with Ron because my husband, he was also getting out of his comfort zone because they had asked him at work to do some presentations and speak before bigger audiences. And so I think this is something we all realize, public speaking. They say that they would, how does that go? They would rather be the person in the coffin than the one that has to give the eulogy, because that's how scary it is. And I feel like that's where I was. I feel like I was like a turtle in a shell, and it was very comfy in there. But I realized that unless that turtle sticks his head out, he's never going to see the light. And I'm so thankful that this happened. And I can't believe it happened 24 years ago. I have been in this club 24 years, and not only this club. When I was working, they started a club. Ron actually went with some other people and sponsored another club there. They had had a club before. It used to be Hughes Aircraft Company. Then it went to Raytheon. And they were familiar that Toastmasters, they knew, that at least the management knew that it was a good thing. So when we came and we did a demo, people got excited, and right away we chartered. I think right after our first demo meeting, people were very excited about Toastmasters. So it was a wonderful environment for me because they were all, I was in administration, they were all engineers and managers, and we had the CEO come to our meetings, and it was just a place so excellent for me to be that little turtle that could see what it means to come out and stick your head out and try and get out of your comfort zone. So that was my main thought for today. Get out of your comfort zone. Talking about the manual again, this was very easy. There were about 10 books, I believe, right, Bert? And you started out with this first one, which is called the Communication and Leadership Program. And it was so nice. You had your icebreaker, and it told you what the subject was, what you should, how you should prepare, and how you should, your evaluation, your form for evaluation was right in the book. You just brought your book, gave it to somebody, and they evaluated for you, presented it before the club, gave it back to you so you could keep this. It was a keepsake, so we would keep all our books. And it started off with the simple things like just introducing yourself, learning how to have some gestures, how to move around, how to use eye contact to see the people. Very, very clever, very, very excellent. However, get out of your comfort zone. This happened in 2019 when they said they were going to roll out a new thing that was called Pathways. And of course, this was going to be online. And I thought to myself, why in the world would you want to fix something that's not broken? But I realized later that even though it wasn't broken, we needed to move forward. And we needed to be inclusive. And if we look back, we see there are about 3 generations now of young children that have learned in school how to use a computer, how to get on the internet, and the world is a different world as far as communication today. We don't talk like this that much face to face anymore. I mean, we do in Toastmasters, which is wonderful, but we're talking on Zoom, we're talking on all the social media platforms, we're talking on text, and so it's very, very different. So let me see. I was very touched with Bob Martin. He gave a speech last week and he talked about leadership, and Toastmasters is all about leadership as well. And as you can see, Eleanor and I and everybody that is here, we've grown. There's been a lot of growth for all of us. Eleanor, I can't believe it. She's just fantastic. And I could stand up here and speak even in a spontaneous way because of our table topics. We do that in table topics. We speak spontaneously. But anyway, Bob talked about being a leader, and he illustrated with a slideshow how a mama duck will jump into the water, and now her little ducklings are sitting there on the platform, whatever, and if they don't want to jump, the mama duck jumps back out, and she does it again, and she does it again. And that's what mentoring is about in Toastmasters as well. We help people want to jump in. And he talked about a 9-year-old little boy in China whose something was on fire, and he went back in to rescue them. And he said, if I don't rescue them, I don't have an audience, right? A classmate. I don't have classmates. So he dared to be a leader. Eleanor talked about what we have now on the pathways. And I'm also coming to one of my final speeches. And here are some examples of the electives that we have. Create a podcast. I would never do this outside of Toastmasters. Build a social media presence. I wouldn't do that. Manage a difficult audience. Write a blog. How many of you have blogs in here? We need to grow. Bert, okay. Run a Q&A session. Manage online meetings. Moderate a panel discussion. And this is just a lead to tell you that there's something coming up on October 18th. I'm going to moderate a panel discussion. We have to choose a topic, choose panelists, and then do it in front, of course, the club members. And our plan is to invite people from the outside. We have some flyers that we're probably going to put up. Sherry Stark helped us. This is one of the first flyers that we put out. I don't have the one that we've been working on it. Sherry has changed it 2 or 3 or 4 times, but it's going to be beautiful. And we are going to do this on October 18th. So if you can, please plan to come and participate in that. I had a hard time picking a subject, but once I found that the subject or the topic, it was so easy for me to decide who the panelists were going to be, because we have expertise in our club. And I was like, how blessed we are to have 3 panelists, and that was what I needed. Well, 3 or 4. And the topic of the presentation is going to be, why are Americans the sickest people on earth? And it's going to be lively. There's going to be some questions, and there will be a Q&A opportunity after the meeting as well. I see I'm way beyond my time, so I'm going to stop here. Thank you for I appreciate your willingness to get involved in some of this new stuff that we're doing. And I think that this is a proof that you can do in Toastmasters. You can develop and you can grow quality and grow just in experience. So with that, I will turn it back to our president, our Toastmaster, Bert.